Wow, that's amazing. What's up, gang, and welcome back to Amazing Fun Fit and Travel. Today we are going to delve into something a little bit deeper, in particularly what would happen if WW3 started. Before we discuss that, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe so that YouTube will boost this video in the algorithm. So let's get started. It seems like every day we are more and more on the brink of war. I'm not trying to date myself or anything crazy like that, but I remember doing bomb scare drills back in grade school. And lately, all we're hearing about is our bad relationship with our neighbors to the east of us. So what would happen if WW3 started? I think the better question is, how would you survive a nuclear war? I can only tell you from my perspective here in the USA. First off, we know that it would take about 30 minutes for China, Russia, and North Korea's missiles to reach the United States. Now, are we going to have 30 minutes notice? Probably not. First off, the information has to get to the president. The president is going to sit down with his people close to him. They're going to discuss it. And once they are done with that, then we are going to start getting alerts. We'll probably have about 20 to 25 minutes to react. The alerts will come in multiple different ways. Cell phone text messages, similar to the fake one that accidentally got sent out in Hawaii. There'll also be the emergency broadcast system on TV and on the radio. And if you live in a town or a city that has a siren alarm system, that'll go off. Listen to this one in Chicago. This has got to be the creepiest siren I've ever heard. Now, once that all happens, what you do in the next 20 to 25 minutes is going to determine whether you are going to survive. But before any of this happens, there's a few things we should do. Let's go out and get ourselves a generator. Spend $200 to $400 on one. It's totally worth it. You do not need a huge generator. You just want to have one just in case you need some power at any given time during this period. Buy some batteries. It's okay to have batteries laying around. Buy them in bulk. They last a long time and you might need them. It's always good to have around. Make sure you also pick up some flashlights while you're buying those batteries because you're definitely going to need some flashlights. Bottled water is always important. It doesn't take up too much space. Pick up about 3 cases, 90 bottles. Just have it around. You do not want to dehydrate if something bad happens. As far as food goes, pick up some canned goods. They last forever. Even past their expiration date, you can still eat them. They may not taste so good, but they're still edible. And I've got myself about 60 cans laying around. I figure that's about a 2-month supply just in case. And also, don't forget to pick up some gas canisters for that generator you bought. Would make sense if something happened and you didn't have any gas to power up that generator. Now that we've got the bare minimum, let's talk about what we're going to do when we get that warning and alert that we've got incoming missiles. Start filling up your bathtubs and your sinks with water. Plug them up, fill them up, because once the fallout hits, your water supply is going to be contaminated. So water is good. Have as much water as possible. While the bathtub and sinks are filling up, do the other things you need to do to save time because you know time is short. I keep my generator outside on a little cart. I'm going to wheel that into the house. I have a toolbox with every possible tool that I might need in it. I'm going to go ahead and grab that. I'm going to bring that into the house. By that time, my bathtub and sink should be filled up. So at this point, I'm going to start filling every available bottle, glass, or whatever I have with water. You can never have enough water. You want to make sure all your windows and doors are locked. When the fallout hits, there's going to be a lot of people that didn't make it to shelter, and they're going to be looking for food and shelter. You don't want someone who's been contaminated with radiation to come in contact with you. Do not, I repeat, do not try to go to a store within that 20 to 25 minutes if you don't have everything you need. There simply isn't enough time, and there's going to be plenty of looters there, so you would just be risking your own life at this point. All right, now that we've talked about what we need to do to survive the initial 60 days, let's talk about things you need to do beforehand, like now. First, pre-plan by determining, are there any nuclear target sites near you? This is pretty easy to do. Just search on the internet, likely nuclear target sites in the USA. It's going to pull up a bunch of maps. You make the best assessment for you based on what you see on those maps. Also search map of fallout from nuclear war in the USA. Once again, it's going to pull up a lot of different maps. Pick the one that's best for you. I like this one right here because it looks like it's based on targeting big cities, nuclear power plants, military installations, and our missile silo sites. One reason you should be doing all this research is simple. You do not want to be accidentally looking in the direction of the blast when it occurs. Best case scenario, you're temporarily blinded. Worst case, obviously, you're permanently blind. From what I've read, if you are more than 12 miles away from the blast during the daytime, you should not be blinded. But I'm not going to take a chance either way. I am not looking in that direction. And by the way, the distance is extended at nighttime to 50 miles away. Now, looking at this fallout map again, if you can safely drive to one of these areas that has no fallout at all in 10 to 15 minutes, by all means, go for it. Just don't forget to pack your emergency supplies in the car. Now let's talk about what actually happens when the bomb drops. What is a safe area from the blast? Sources say 2 to 7 miles is a safe area. Me, I'm going to go ahead and extend that out to 10 miles. I'll feel better about it, and I'll feel a little safer at 10 miles. Oh, and remember this map? I'm about 12 miles away from one of those targets right there. So now that I know where the blast is going to come from, what is going to be the fallout pattern, and I've got all my supplies, I need to figure out where am I going to be when this happens. What room is going to be the safest for my survival? So I want to put as many walls between me and the blast in a room with no windows. Fortunately for me, my house sits lower than the house next to me, and that's the direction that the blast is coming from. So I have a large wall outside that is my first layer of protection. Next, I have the outside wall of the house. My safe room will be a walk-in closet furthest away from the blast, which also puts about 4 more walls between me and the direction of the blast. And remember, on a side note, don't forget to put your supplies on the furthest side of the house also. Now, I don't want to forget this. I have heard that the blast causes some type of vacuum pressure type deal. So if all your windows and doors are closed when the blast happens, it causes some type of suction and shatters your windows. That's the last thing you want. When the fallout starts, you do not want your windows to be broken. You want everything to be secure. If this is the case, I would leave the windows furthest from the blast, opposite side of the house, opened a little bit. And then right after the blast, I would close them. In my case, I have a chimney, so I would leave the chimney open, and then after the blast happens, before the fallout, I would close the chimney. How true is this about the vacuum and pressure effect? I don't know, but I am not going to take any chances. Well, I hope you found this video educational. Remember, I'm not an expert. This is just my opinion from what I've read on the net. If you don't have a place to shelter, hop online and search fallout shelters near me. Google will pull up a map and show you different places where there are bomb and fallout shelters. And lastly, if you are stuck outside and you're not close to any shelter, make sure you find yourself a ditch, a ravine, an embankment, anything you can find to lay down below the ground level so that the blast will go over you. Thanks for sticking around. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next amazing video.
Wow, that's amazing.